blame the minute late on me. I just made a mistake. Anyway, it's time for In the Garden with Carolyn. I'll make it up to you, I promise. We'll cut a commercial out of something. Carolyn is here to talk about your lawn, your garden. The phone line is open. The number is 622-9622. Carolyn is a master gardener, for those who don't know. There's also a Facebook page that Carolyn created as a companion to this show. It's called In the Garden. Just have to ask to be part of it, and Carolyn will say, okay. If you try to sell sunglasses, she's going to say, see you later.
Right. But we do promote garden shows, et cetera, et cetera.
Other garden shows. Oh, right. that's nice of you. Well, good. And also, you have a special guest today. So
we do
fun.
At the quarter hour. We have Lance Walheim calling in from Bear Advanced.
Nice. Yeah. Talking about,
well, a lot of their products, but stuff on what's new, what's different. What's upcoming, with the amount of rainfall we've had, looking at that, mosquito issues and things like that, and what we can do to deal with some of that.
So the topic this morning on one of the ag shows was vegetable gardening for the person who is time-strapped. And I didn't really pay attention to it. But the question that I had from that title or that subject was, how could anything be more time-consuming than anything else? It seems like all plants probably take the same amount of care, right?
No, not necessarily.
Really?
And I guess what they're saying, is the time-strapped. And in a way, I feel like I'm that time-strapped vegetable gardener.
Yeah.
I go by the Ag Center on Tuesday morning at 7 a.m., and I'm out of there by 8:20 in order to be here. So that's my
right.
one day a week.
Yeah.
That's the only day I'm there.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So, but I'm still able to do some successful gardening.
Okay. So you have an area that is just yours over at the Ag Center?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that is cool.
Yeah, because we've had changes over the years. Certain master gardeners have come and gone and such like that, and it sort of did get broken down. So I take care of a couple smaller beds over there, and so that's the spot I go to every time.
So if you happen to see your caller, because I have my back to the phone, so if you happen to see the light coming on, we'll take a break and we'll go straight to him.
Okay.
Also, at the bottom of the hour, I want the listeners to know this morning we gave away tickets to the Civic Theater for Mamma Mia.
Right.
It was hugely popular.
Fantastic.
And so for those of you who didn't win, if you want to try to win again, we're going to do it at the bottom of the hour.
Bottom of the hour.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Just so you know that. So how's everything?
Everything's good. Starting to feel like a duck or a frog out here with all the rain we're getting. But thank goodness we got a little bit of blue sky showing today.
Yeah,
and
not
so,
bad.
get a little energy recharge. Maybe the soil can absorb some of this rain. Of course, if we have any more, it's still going to, any puddling or anything else. It's, we're going to have a running battle, I think, with insect and disease issues already the start of this season, and it is just now near. Well, we're still almost at that middle to the end, late part of May. Rainy season. This isn't rainy season weather. Our rainy season usually is you get up in the morning and it's a bright sunny day. Come 2 o'clock in the afternoon when it's 95 degrees out, those sea masses from the Gulf and the Atlantic, which I got my hands in the wrong way, but that's all right, collide in the middle and boom, we get a thunderstorm for 20, 30 minutes and it is cleared out. And we go about the rest of our day and light our barbecue at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, whatever. But we're getting the rain all morning, all afternoon, in the middle of the night. That's a front. That's not rainy season.
That sounds like what it's going to do today, though. That does sound like today's forecast.
Yeah, it does. Today, and I think even tomorrow, it's actually normal weather pattern. Then we got that nastiness down there in the Gulf that looks like it's going to possibly affect the weekend.
Yeah. It looks like we've got the rain for a little while longer. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So is it affecting your garden? I mean, the garden at the Ag Center, is it outdoors?
Yes.
Oh, it is?
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Gardens generally are, but...
I didn't know.
But I mean, you're getting fungal issues because you can't control that rainfall. So that splash that's occurring, unless you're well mulched, even if you are mulched, sometimes, fungal issues will be there. And I'm seeing a lot of snails, so watch out for the snails.
I haven't seen any.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You ready for the phones?
Sure.
Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Yes, good morning, and thank God for all the rain we got. I kept track from the beginning about a week and a couple of days ago, and I got a total of 6.5 inches in my backyard, and I'm very happy for it.
Yeah, I think that's what they're saying. I did look one up here on one of the weather kind of things, and it's saying Marion County about 6.75 inches. So that's a lot of rain in the last, over this last month.
Right, according to the Weather Channel, which I watch quite a bit, looks like we got a wet Memorial Day 3 or 4 days coming up.
Yeah, I know it's not going to be fun for the cookouts and the rest of that, but we just have to deal with it. Umbrellas, easy ups. At least if we're hoping that we're not getting severe weather, then we're doing okay. If it's just some rain, we deal with some rain. That's what else are you going to do?
I was going to ask a quick question here. In my backyard, I've got a lot of bushes, and a couple of them that were out before we got this rain started. We had many, many days in a row of a strong sun, solid blue skies,
right.
And a couple of them just looked like they got a little bit affected by it. But now with the rain, I let these grow up to about 5 foot high, and then I trim them back.
Okay.
And the root system's got to be at least 2-3 foot in the ground. And how long do you think it takes, like that much rain, to get down into the root system? A good week or a couple of days? Or I know we got sandy soil, and it seems to soak in pretty quick.
Yeah, it soaks in pretty quick. If we were to go to a sudden dry spell, we would be, having that water, dissipating down through the ground rather quickly. Matter of probably just a couple of weeks, you would start to find that top 3 or 4 inches being dry.
Yeah, but I walked back there this morning, and it looks like the leaves are responding to all the water. They look like they're coming back to life, or looking much better, let's say.
Sure. Well, yeah, they will. They that it's this time of year. They were a little dry. It might have been the new growth that had started on them got a little burnt because that early heat and sunshine. But they should be doing fine now.
Yeah, usually early May is kind of a wicked time of the year. We're in the middle of the dry season, and you get these clear days where the sun's blasting down almost the whole time.
Oh yeah. Hey, Hugh, we need to go to commercial break, and I've got our guest coming on here right after that, and so stay tuned in. All right.
I'm looking forward to your guest. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Hugh.
All right, we'll be right back. This is The Source, WOCA. The College of Central Florida is committed to being your first choice for quality higher education. CF has locations in Marion, Citrus, and Levy counties and offers more than 60 academic programs. Earn a certificate, associate, or bachelor's degree. With Florida's 2+2 program, a student can complete an associate in arts at CF and be guaranteed admission to a state of Florida university. CF is ranked number 13 in the U.S. for affordability, is military friendly, and offers a full student life experience. Make CF your first choice. Call 352-873-5800.
This is Kenny Penny with Pretty Penny Properties. On behalf of myself, my wife Allison, and the Pretty Penny team, I want to thank you for supporting our business by allowing us to help you get your penny's worth from the local real estate market. With offices in Ocala, Spring Hill, Tampa Bay, Pretty Penny Properties helps you spend every penny wisely. Contact us at prettypennyproperties.com or call 352-629-6883. That's 352-629-6883. Thanks.
All right, 16 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's return to Carol Ann Baldwin in the garden with Carol Ann. Carol Ann?
Hey, good morning. Hey, and of course we now have our guest on, Lance Walheim, the spokesperson for Bayer Advanced Garden Chemicals, and I want to welcome you aboard.
Hey, Carol Ann, it's great to hear from you. It's been a while.
Yes, it has. And there's been all kinds of new things going on with them. And right now, I don't know if you've seen any of the weather reports. We're getting tons of rain here. Don't know about where out there in California where you're at, but we're getting socked in on some rain. So I figured today maybe we could touch on some of those rain affected, our mosquito issues and things like that, and some of the new issues, some of the new things going on with Bayer.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, one of the most exciting things is that we're having a name change. Bayer Advanced is going to be changed to Bio Advanced.
Right.
It's going to be the same blue bottles, same red shield, same great ingredients, and same great results, but the name is going to change. And that'll happen over this summer. There's a few products out there already, but we'll gradually change into the new packaging as products get sold off the shelf. So that's an exciting thing.
That is, does that changeover mean that some of the products are changing? New innovation within controls and things like that?
Yeah, it sure does. One of the things the reason why we're changing the name is about 18 months ago, Bayer Advance was purchased by SBM Life Sciences, which is a French company, privately owned, that are leaders in naturals and organics and soil amendments in Europe. And they've made a big commitment to BioAdvance now. We've got a new research center in Champaign, Illinois, new manufacturing plants in Texas and also in California. So we're excited about some of the products that they have and that they're going to bring to the marketplace, especially in the Natria line, in the naturals and the organics. So, we're excited.
Fantastic. I mean, that's always nice to know, because we've had over the years so many of the same things, and eventually we start to see that they either don't work as well as they used to, or that there are environmental concerns, or people are just concerned that they don't want to use that many synthetic chemicals in their gardens and in their vegetable gardens and landscape as well, especially here in Florida. And I know other states have the issues too, but we think about Florida and our groundwater, our aquifer. We have some of the best water, I think, in the country that just comes right out of the well into your household, and we need to watch and protect that.
That's for sure. Water is one of our most valuable resources, whether you're putting it on your lawn or you're drinking it. And
yes,
you're right about the natural and organics. And if you look back over the last 10 years, as this has become more popular, you do see a lot of repetition of what's on the shelf.
Yes.
And I think that we're just coming to a point, and BioAdvance is going to be a leader in this, where we're going to see a lot of new, exciting products that are going to be, frankly, more effective in the natural space. Now, we have 2 new products that are out this year that I'm really excited about, which are innovations from some products we've had in the past. The first one is the Natria grass and weed killer with root kill.
Okay.
Now this is basically an ammoniated salt of fatty acids, or a soap, which we've had in the past as a weed killer. But what we've added to it is malolaic hydrazide.
Okay.
And what that is it's a food-grade plant growth regulator that they use to prevent sprouting on potatoes. And so we've added that, and what it does is it kills the roots. So that's always been the problem with these soap-based herbicides.
Sure.
Is that they kill the top but not the roots. So, think about that. Here's a natural product that's going to kill the top and kill the roots. That's innovation, if you ask me. I'm really excited about that product.
Yeah, that is, especially because a lot of people have been going out and just doing, say, the vinegar and, salt or dish soap and things like that and spraying weeds. But as I let them know, I said, that's fantastic. You're not, putting down a poison down there, but you're not killing off that weed. You're weakening it, but it's not actually killing it completely. And so now with something that's actually going to get down in there to destroy those roots is going to be fantastic for people.
Yeah. And the other product that we have is the Natria Lawn Weed and Disease Control. And again, this is a product that it's an iron chelate-based product that you can use on your lawn to kill broadleaf weeds. And they've, since then, we've tested this product, and it's also effective against a number of lawn diseases. So now you can use it for not only weeds, but you can also use it for diseases like dollar spot, rust, and others. So, again, great innovation. These products, you can go to BayerAdvance.com and find locations to purchase those, and they're also all available online. So if people want to try it, they can get them out there and get there. So, we got some things on the horizon that really look neat. I'm trying some stuff. It's top secret stuff now, but I'm trying some things in my own home garden, some new types of fertilizers and things that I really like. So it's exciting.
That is. Are they looking at some of the fertilizers for vegetable gardens and things like that, or flower beds?
We certainly are. We have a new rose fertilizer that's going to be out there. It's maybe a little hard to find for a while in Florida, but again, you can get it online.
Okay.
And I really like that because it fertilizes the roses for up to 4 months, and it's got some really unique ingredients, including micronutrients in it. So that's another one where I think that people will be excited about. And we are looking at a lot of different things.
That's great. One thing I know, it's not necessarily here in our county, but a couple of counties within the state and a new ordinance coming up in a neighboring county in Lake County near us is we're having, to protect our water system, is that beginning on like June the 1st and it runs through the end of September, where you can't put down a nitrogen-based fertilizer onto your lawns and landscapes. Even in Lake County, they're saying that for that whole time period, which normally, you don't really need to anyway. So it's a matter a lot of times of education versus, but it's easier for legislation than education. Is Bayer working on anything to where you'd have a fertilizer that you could still use, or a product maybe that would be more iron or magnesium, the other micro or macronutrients that the landscape and lawn would need, I guess I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we are, and I've been doing quite a bit of stuff in Florida recently, and so a lot of the shows that I'm on, I do have to be aware that, the fertilizer bans in summer in many areas, basically, if that's you're up against that, you basically got about a week to apply your fertilizers, or if you want to use a weed and feed like the 3-in-1 weed and feed for southern lawns that Bayer Advance has. We do have a triple action lawn fertilizer, or triple action, but again, it's got nitrogen in it. So if you've got a ban, you can't use that. But it is a slow release nitrogen that can last up to 3 months, so you'll get covered over the summer. But
right.
Yeah, it's always important to protect those waterways, and the rules are changing, and they're different sometimes in different parts of the state. So you got to be up to snuff of what's going on.
Most definitely, because it is. They are, and it is one of those things that and if you have neighboring counties, because I said that somebody's going to come over, so actually knowing what you can and cannot use, or what you should or should not use, like you say, if you have a need to put a true lawn fertilizer down, you've got about a week or so, and that would be really pretty much for anybody, not just those in areas where the ban is going on. It's best to get it applied now and not try to wait, because our rainy season, my goodness, we've been having rain over the last, I don't think we've had a day without rain in the last 2 weeks almost.
Yeah, and that's an important consideration, too, because you do not want to apply any of these products before you've got heavy rain forecast, so you have to be aware of that as well.
Right, and with anything, your insect controls also. So that's going to be one of those issues that we're having. I was just out in the extension garden this morning and running across quite a bit of snails. I know if there's any standing water, we're going to have mosquito populations that are going to go through the roof, and the concerns on the eastern equine. I think I heard that. A little bit of something maybe the other day on the news, and some of the other mosquito-borne illnesses that can be prevalent.
That's right. The CDC has come out with some numbers that says that diseases transmitted by insects like ticks, mosquitoes, and has tripled since 2004. So
wow.
You have to be vigilant about that, and particularly making sure that you are emptying standing water wherever it is, or using whatever you have to do in fountains. There's things like that where the mosquito dunks are, and So yeah, you've got to be on top of that, and there's some things you can do in the yard when it comes to ticks and fleas to kind of keep them at a minimum, and we can certainly go over those if you'd like.
Oh, most certainly. Yeah, that's because we do have, year round here. We do have a flea issue year round in Florida. Ticks are somewhat more seasonal, but again, they can be an issue year round. And with the summer season, more of us outdoors and trying to enjoy those landscapes and outside areas. We need to try to keep our families and pets as well safe from.
Well, that's exactly right. A lot of it has to do with being vigilant and inspecting yourself and your kids, wearing long sleeve shirts and pants, and taking care of your pets, making sure they're properly treated, doing the things when it comes to ticks and fleas, making sure that you've got the brush mowed down around the outsides of the yard, keeping your lawn mowed whenever you can, and also I've seen recommendations where you keep a 3-foot mulched area between any areas of wild shrubbery or weeds or stuff. But the best thing is to keep those mowed down. And then there are, of course, things that you can use to treat areas and treat plants. Air Advance has a number of those products, from 24-hour lawn insect killer, which you can find at Home Depot, and also the complete insect killer for soil and turf, which can be used on turf. So following the label instructions, you can treat the turf, or you can also, on some of these, if it's on the label, you can treat some of the plants in the yard, because the mosquitoes, for instance, are going to be hiding underneath the leaves of the plants during the day, and if you can get them and reduce their numbers, that's going to help. And same with the ticks, if you can treat the wild areas that you need to. So there are things you do, but it's a matter of being vigilant.
That's true, is trying to keep some of those items back and a mulch area. Oops, it sounds like we're going to head to our news break here at the bottom. Can you stay over for another segment, Lance?
You bet.
All right, that sounds good. We'll be back in just, what's it take us, about 2 minutes or so?
We'll do it in 2 minutes, yes.
About 2 minutes.
Okay.
All right, hold on.
We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. Congressional leaders will get to review some classified documents about the Russia election meddling investigation. There are claims the FBI was politically motivated.
President Trump ordered the Justice Department's Inspector General to launch an investigation. Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal.
It's plainly an attempt to intimidate and threaten and thwart the investigation.
Meanwhile, a group of congressional Republicans will call for a second special counsel to investigate alleged misconduct at the FBI and Justice Department.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland in D.C. One of 4 suspects, a teenager, is arrested in the death of a police officer investigating a suspicious vehicle in Baltimore County, Maryland. A witness says she was run over. 2 brothers were there and tried to help.
I immediately ran over. I called for officer down over the radio. After that, I just immediately started doing CPR.
But she died at the hospital. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Pros in the know start with Lowe's, because Lowe's offers pros brands they rely on every day, like America's most trusted water heater brand, A.O. Smith. Choose from several models available in stock and ready in emergencies, if that's when you need them. Plus, save 5% on every purchase every day when you use your Lowe's Business Credit account. So, Pro, now that you know, let's get started. Offer subject to credit approval. Can't be combined with other credit offers. Exclusions apply. U.S. only.
When you're hiring, you don't want to sort through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want an efficient way to get to a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using our intuitive online dashboard. Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
All right, 28 minutes before 10 o'clock, 75 degrees here at the studios. There's a 50% chance we'll see rain today, most likely in the early afternoon. Let's return now to In the Garden with Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann?
Hey, and we're back, and we've got Lance Walheim with us from Bear Advanced Garden Chemicals and Lawn Chemicals, and we're going through some of the products that they have and some of the solutions they can give us in our landscape. I know we're going to have you touched a little bit on one of the new natural, I guess within the Natria line, I guess it is one of the natural fungicide type things, but I know we're going to have some landscape fungus issues with all the rain because we can't control the time that rain comes down, and so we're having water standing on plant material as the sun goes down. Is there any innovation, anything new going on with any of that?
Well, we, of course, do have, and we have been talking about a lot of different products, and I just want to remind people they can go to bearadvance.com and get more information. We're going to be transitioning a new website coming up this summer, which is going to be really powerful, and
cool.
We'll have some new tools on it and things. But back to diseases, we have a disease control product in the Bear Advanced line, but we also have some options in the Natria line. One of the ones I really like is our disease control, which is actually a biological Bacillus subtilis. So now these are, when you're using natural products or organic products, you've got to be, again, it comes back to being vigilant, being in the garden, inspecting things, trying to get ahead of diseases. So if you know things are coming, these products are going to work best as preventatives. Once that the disease really take hold, you may have to go with something stronger like our disease control product. But if you can get ahead of these things and start using the Natria disease control, it's really effective. This bacteria will outcompete other diseases. The other one in the line, we've got a couple other ones. We've got insect disease and mite control, which has some sulfur in it, which is also effective against diseases. And then lastly, we have the neem oil extract. So that also works against a lot of different diseases. So you have some options there in the natural line. And of course, we have things that are in the Bear Advances line as well. So, yeah, it's tough when a lot of it, is also when it comes to controlling these things is knowing what conditions these diseases or even insects flourish in and what time of year they come in.
Sure.
So you can be ahead of them, which is so important with natural products. Keeping a journal and saying, okay, this time I started getting black spot on my roses, and so if I can get ahead of that and start using some of the naturals, maybe I can keep it down. And then
do it as a preventative versus a curative.
Yeah, and be aware that you're going to have to repeat it fairly often. I mean, it's one of those, I like to say it's a good news, bad story. The good news is that stuff breaks down quickly. The bad news is it breaks down quickly. So you have to use it often.
Right.
So yeah, it's kind of you can do it very effectively. You just have to be vigilant. You got to be out there.
Right now, and the insect disease and mite one, the Natria one, like that with the sulfur in that. Now, you have to be careful with that. Same with the neem oil, that you wouldn't want to use those back and forth on trying to do some control because the sensitivity is that. Am I understanding that correctly, or
you are? There are limits on the, and it's all on the label, as we always say. The information label is the law, of course, but it's also the way to get the best results.
Exactly. My listeners should know my mantra is that read the label, read and follow the label instructions.
Right.
Yeah, on any of these items.
You're right. There are temperature regimes and limits to what you can use sulfur on. You don't want to use it in combination with an oil. So you do have to be careful there. And you can't forget that the neem is also an oil, so that you want to make sure that you're not applying that over certain temperatures. I believe it's something like 85 degrees or something.
Right. Well, but now does the neem break down relatively quickly? I mean, I know it's an oil that if someone is trying to use it, because we have some scale issues, some other issues, that really the neem works a little better because of that, just being able to smother that 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. thing. So you got the all night kind of thing for it to do its job. would it
Right.
still be okay? Because you figure we've been over 85 degrees probably for a month already, and I don't see it going below that for till September, October. That's just the way it works here within Central Florida. You're not going to get cooler temperatures to where you can say, "Oh, I can spray today." We can
Right.
spray on overcast days, but then you worry again: is it going to rain in a half an hour, and then it's ineffective? But is it something like, because I've often told people to spray, use your oil, use it in the evening. When you get up in the morning, hose the plant down. Try to remove some of it.
That's good advice. And I think the other thing is, if you have any concerns and you're going to try it on a new plant under any conditions, is just try it on a limited area of the plant and just do a sample spray on some of the foliage and see what kind of results you get.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, because you're right. There are limits to all these, and people don't read the label, and they'll burn a plant. So you have to be careful. You have to follow the label instructions.
Yes, you do. Because I have heard of people using, which I know it wasn't a Bayer product, but just to back to an old one. I don't even see Volk oil on the market anymore. At least I haven't seen it the last couple of years. But where someone had sprayed I believe it was a camellia shrub, for scale with Volk oil, but they used the dormant season mix during the growing season, and they defoliated their tree because it was too much oil, too hot of temperatures, and the sunshine, and they killed their beautiful camellia shrub.
Yeah, you have to be careful when you're using oils. There's no doubt about it, and there's different oils out there that are more highly refined, or different dilution rates for summer use, and
Right.
you've got to make sure you use them. For instance, and they still have temperature regimes, but summer oils are a very effective spray. If you've got citrus, if you've got a problem with scale or on anything, they can be very effective, but you still have to know you're using oils. I mean, think about it. These are things that smother the insects. They also smother the plants.
Right.
So if you clog up all the pores of the plants and you suffocate the plants, the plant is not able to take up moisture.
Right.
You'll get a lot of leaf drop. You'll burn the plant, and you can kill the plant.
Sure. And of course, with with sunshine and high temperatures, it's like either I relay things to like basting a turkey. Baste a turkey, it turns brown. You baste it with butter in the oven at nice hot temperature, it's going to turn brown. You sit outside with baby oil. You sit outside with baby oil. Guess what? You're going to burn.
Right.
It's just people have to remember those kind of things. So using caution with any of the oils, and like we always say, read and follow the label instructions. It's not just. I mean, even on natural products, you want the best. The best results out of the dollar you spent.
Right.
Putting a product down in not following directions is just it is a waste of your time, a waste of your money, and you're not going to see the results that you were hoping for. Adding more to your mix is not better. Your doctor tells you to take medication, taking one every 4 hours. You don't go, well, hey, listen, if one every 4 hours is good, I'll take two, because it may make you sick. The same thing. If it's 1 teaspoon into a gallon of water, 2 teaspoons doesn't make it work any better.
That's for sure. You are exactly right on that. More does not make it better. A lot of research goes into these products to find out the exact rate that's going to be most effective. And there's timing things there. You want to make sure that you're applying them at the right time, and they're making sure that you're not affecting any beneficial insects. I mean, these are things we all have to be concerned about. So that's why, it's granted, I mean, you can't deny that the information on those labels it's small. It's hard to read.
Yes.
And so get a magnifying glass. Just understand you're spending a lot of money on this product if you need it. Or put your glasses on, not like I
there you go.
2.5 magnification so I can read them. And you'll get better results. You get more for your money. Right.
And even before you leave the house and go to the store, go to the website. you can read up about the product, on many, on the website to find out, what is the best thing for you. And so that when you're going in, you know kind of what it is you're looking for. You may have an additional option in there when you go in to shop, but you at least have a general idea of what's going to be the best thing for your pest or disease issue that's going on. And whether or not it's a synthetic or a more natural or organic version, it's the best way to go.
Yeah, you're absolutely right on that. And if you go online and look at these things, you can make the label bigger, and it's a lot easier to read it. If you really spend some time in one of the big box stores or any of the nurseries and the garden centers, and you watch people in the chemical aisles, and there's just so many products out there, and it is confusing. So if you do it, you can do a little bit of homework and find out exactly what, the cooperative extension is a great place to look for information. The websites for like BearAdvance.com, but the more educated you are going in there, the better results you're going to get. That's
very true, and that's county extension is a great way to start. Even some of your local garden clubs, and it just gets you the information you need to be an educated buyer. Whether we all try to be educated when we go in and shop for food or things like that. So why not be educated on other items that you're going to buy? So do your research in advance. Know what your pest issues, what your disease issue is before going in. Though many of them are general on the disease control, on the insect control. There's none of them that are just single target, unless it's like I say, like a mosquito dunk kind of thing that's going strictly after larvae. Is Bayer doing anything with any like the BT type products for caterpillar control? Because I know a lot of folks are we're raising and protecting butterflies, but you have some plants that are moreover, say even your produce, where you're not wanting those caterpillars to consume your tomato plants and things like that, where it's not your butterfly targets, but it's more of your moth issues. Is there anything on those that's that Bayer's working with?
Yeah, there are several of the Nature products, and of course the Bayer Advanced products that are labeled for caterpillars. But you're right. I mean, we are looking at long-term and a variety of different products. And I think if people are interested in the naturals category and the organics category, that they better keep an eye on what we're doing, because it's going to be exciting. Because it's just for the reasons we have talked about. There has been a lot of repetition of things. It's time for new products, and I think they're out there, and we're going to bring them to market.
That sounds great.
Yeah, and you're right on the other thing is it's not only making sure that the pest you want to control is on that label.
Yes.
Because otherwise you're wasting your time, and the timing of the sprays. There's just so much good information on a label.
It sure is. It sure is. Well, hey, Lance, I know our time here is coming up to my quarter hour here, and I do really appreciate you coming on. I know my listeners get a lot out of it. I've always liked the Bayer products, so I plan on looking into the new line and that. So I do thank you for joining us today.
Hey, great talking to you, Carol Ann.
All right, Lance, you have a wonderful day now.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
It's time to rethink what you know about clean American propane and what it can do for your operation. Want efficient, reliable power independent of the grid? Propane can do that. Power for EPA-compliant engines without all the extra fluids and filters? Propane can do that. Eliminate fuel theft, lower hourly fuel costs, reduce downtime. Propane can do all of that. Discover all the things propane can do on your farm at propanecandothat.com.
Now's the perfect time to add some glorious green to your yard with a tree or two from Bob Wyand's Camellia Gardens. Listen to this. Bob is overstocked with trees, so at the moment, he's having a red tag sale on every tree in stock, with savings up to 66% off his already low prices. That means you can buy a large tree of your choice, 5 to 7 feet tall, as little as $59. Larger trees, all the way up to their humongous instant shade trees, are similarly low priced, and the selection is almost unbelievable. While you're there, be sure to check out Bob's outstanding selection on crepe myrtles. You can spend whatever you want, as little as $2.99 or as much as $299, and this selection of crepe myrtles is truly a sight to behold. Check the ad, then head to Bob Wyand's Camellia Gardens on Southeast 38th Street, Ocala for the Red Tag Tree Sale. They're open daily till 4:30, Saturdays till 3, in the same blooming location since 1952.
The weather is brought to you by MyFWC.com. Safe boating is no accident. On this Tuesday, times of clouds and sun with a shower and thunderstorm or two around, a high 79 to 83. And partly to mostly cloudy Tuesday night, low 68 to 72. For Wednesday, clouds and some sunshine, warm and humid with a chance of a shower or thunderstorm, high 83 to 87. Thursday, times of clouds and sun with a shower and thunderstorm or two around, high 82 to 86. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Friends, countrymen, tourists, and Ocalans, lend me your ears. Hey, speaking of ears, there is an opportunity for you to help feed and provide good maintenance, housing, and medical care for Marion County's rescued big cats, bears, monkeys, and other disabled or unreleasable wild and exotic animals. Take a tour on Wednesdays or Saturdays of the Endangered Animal Rescue Sanctuary. Adults $20, children 12 and under just $12. Call 352-266-2859 for any questions.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. Our tractor services include bush hog, disking, front-end loader, box blade, and stump grinding. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440, or online at powellgene, G-E-N-E, at yahoo.com. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Gene is a proud United States veteran.
All right, 12 minutes before 10 o'clock, let's return to Carol Ann Baldwin in the Garden with Carol Ann. The phone line is open if you'd like to call Carol Ann. The number is 622-9622. I hope you will enjoy that interview.
I
that
do,
was awesome.
yeah, I hope so. We've had Lance on before, and many of our regular listeners probably heard him. It's probably been a year or two.
It's been a while.
And, it has been a while since he's been on. I'm glad that his publicist, or whomever you want to call it, reached out to me the other day, and so we got hooked up with that. And there is some new interesting stuff going on, and that's why I had heard about that, and that's why I really wanted to bring him on. But again, take a look at their website and see.
And you do have a phone call. Good morning. You're on there with Carol Ann.
Good morning, Carol Ann. I've got a question for you. I listened to the interview with the young man.
Yeah.
What do I do presently for worms that are starting to come up on, or caterpillars starting to come up on my tomatoes?
Pick them off if you can initially. You can.
They're teeny tiny. I've been doing that, but they just keep coming.
The little black, little army worm kind of worm.
You got them. Yep.
Yeah. You can try. You can spray your tomato plants, even though you're probably going to be harvesting soon if you're not already. Read the directions on the label. Yeah, read the directions on the label. Your organic ones you can spray. Your Safer Soap and things like that will kill them on contact, or will maybe they may not turn around and go throw their feet in the air and die. But that's why it's not a synthetic insecticide. And those you can use up to day of harvest. So, whatever you can pick off or just squish as you're going out there, go ahead and do that. But I would be looking at, the Safer Soap. There's some, and I always get my pyrethrin and my permethrins mixed up on the organic version, but that can be used up to day of harvest also, and has, I think, a little better or a little longer life on the plant than, say, the Safer Soap would.
Where could I find that?
You should be able to get them in any of the big box stores. I mean, most of the garden centers around. If they're selling insect control, I would say that they would have something like that.
And it's called Safer Soap?
Safer Soap or insecticidal soap. You can make your own, just do it with caution using, a gentle hand wash dishwashing soap. A dishwashing detergent. It's a tablespoon into a gallon of water. And, just gently agitate that, and you can spray your plants with that. Just, again, with any pest, control, be careful that you don't overmix it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you. Phone lines are open as always. The number is 622-WOCA. The topic of treating the garden for insects and things like that doesn't come up a whole lot. It was interesting to hear some of that. And
right.
You were mentioning during the break about the fire ants and
right. Fire ants are a pain, and you don't want fire ants in your vegetable garden because once they're in the garden, they're hard to get rid of because you can't use anything in the garden. There's nothing really labeled.
It'll hurt the plants?
There's nothing really labeled for use in a vegetable garden for ants.
Okay.
So you need to control them on the outside of the garden.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
so if you've got mounds popping up, and of course with this rain, you're going to see fire ant mounds and things like that popping up. If they are getting into your vegetable garden, if you have raised beds, you can always put a bait on the outside of your bed. They will go take it, consume it, go off and die.
Does that work?
The baits do work. Just watch it with the rains. The baits are hard to use. You might have to put something over it to keep it dry. Put a little umbrella over your bait there so that they can actually go get it. Otherwise, treat the mounds outside with whatever it is that you like to use. I mean, diatomaceous earth is an organic thing that you could use in the bed. It's just not going to be a speedy control on that. So, I prefer treating with something a little more powerful, but keep that on the outside. Treat the mounds on the outside, and just keep them out in the first place. Don't let them in.
Yeah, the two things I want to say based on what you just said is I hate standing in a fire ant because you always find out too late.
Right, because the ants will seem to, you get near one or even your foot's
they
there
attack
beside
all
it.
at once.
You don't see them on your exactly. They all run up your pant leg, and the leader blows his little
somehow
horn,
lets them know. Yeah,
and they all chomp at once.
Yeah.
And then you're doing the fire ant dance, and that can be embarrassing depending on how far up they go. But you're stomping your feet and running around trying to pull your socks and shoes off, and hoping there's a garden hose handy.
The visual has never happened to me.
No, thank goodness.
But I've had them on the feet.
Yes,
and
where you're doing the dance and jumping up and down.
Even if you're wearing shoes, they'll get underneath the shoe.
They get down in your sock.
Yeah.
And yes, they will, and they will bite you very, very effectively. One thing I found, here's one of those natural homeopathic kind of things. Camphophenique. I know it's one of those things you can't spell it. I've used that on them. Well, again, it's a menthol. It's a camphor-based type thing. The mentholatum or like a Vicks kind of thing seems to work also. Again, a menthol.
Really?
To help take that itch away.
To help get the itch away. Okay, I got you. I thought you meant to put that on the ant mound.
So if you've got one, a little bottle of that in your little gardening supply or whatever, it kind of helps. Do that. Wash your hands, all real good, and it's because they anytime they bite me, if they get I get one little bite on my little pinky, my pinky swells up. So.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Ready for another call?
Fantastic. Yeah.
Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good dry morning so far.
Oh, I know.
Just to know, I'm always out here in the landscape since I do landscape maintenance, and I always have a packet of mustard with me. I don't care what kind of ants you get into, and even when the kids were little and stepped in a fire ant mound, I'd set them in the sink and give them a squeezed bottle of mustard. I don't know if it's the vinegar in it.
That's interesting.
I mean, they never even...
They
never even knew
mustard.
They had bites. They had fun playing with it. They didn't get any of the little pus heads, nothing.
Wow. So a couple packs of mustard to keep in your little gardening tote with just carry around. That's cool.
I mean, when you're in the middle of 5 acres and you got fire ants and your client isn't home and the house is locked, you've always got mustard packets.
right. Or if you're out on a picnic or an outing somewhere, hey, if you got the mustard for the hot dogs, at least if you're good to go on that. But that's a great tip.
Yeah, and I hate mustard. I don't eat it, but I do use it.
I'm not a big mustard person myself, but yeah, I may pick up a couple of packs just to have them in the garden tote, just to have them just in case.
Yeah, always good to have in the arsenal. Have a great day. Stay dry.
Thanks, Kathy. You too.
Yeah. Funny stuff.
And do you want to give away a couple of these tickets to Mamma Mia before we're heading out?
Let's do that.
And we'll also give away a $20 gift certificate to Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens and Nursery. This is for plant material only, but you can look and see what they have in the line of garden fertilizers as well. Because I know they're, as an independent, they may not carry the same stuff as a big box store.
Right.
And if you've won any tickets to the Ocala Civic Theater in the last 30 days, please give someone else a chance.
Yeah, there you go. So, you want me to talk about it?
Sure.
It was fun.
Was it fun?
Mamma Mia was fun.
Yeah.
Yes, I loved it, but I kind of like musicals. Everybody doesn't. So if it's not your cup of tea, then it won't be for you. But as far as musicals go and fun musicals, it was outstanding.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, the ladies made it. I mean, it is really. Everybody calls it a chick flick anyway. The movie,
right.
You know, but
still,
but just from and I'm a guy, but I really enjoyed it. I mean,
just had a good time. Just as the whole thought of knowing what the story is, it just was a little.
If
more
you compare
fun.
the actresses on the stage in Ocala up against the actresses on the movie, I'm telling you.
They did it.
And the actors too, the males also.
Right.
But they are better than the ones in the movie. They sing better. They're handsomer, prettier.
Well, look
I'm
you
just
there.
telling you,
Compliments to the
fun.
Civic
It's a
Theaters.
fun experience. Yeah.
Fantastic. So
if you want 2 tickets, you need to call. I guess in about 2 minutes. Once we go off the air,
then
that way you won't be on the air. Nobody will hear you.
And we don't have to rush you through to get your name and stuff like that.
So that's the good part about it. So just give us a minute, and Caroline will sign off, and then before the next segment with Matt Gibbs, we'll take your call, and if we don't take your call, that means you didn't win. But
there you go.
It's kind of one of those things you just have to.
Right.
But it is worth it. It's only $25 if you don't win. So.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's and it runs through June the 17th.
Yeah.
So you still got plenty
of time.
Run. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's a whole month is what that one ran. So
we were talking about that. A month seems like a long time to do one thing over and over again.
Right.
But some of these Broadway plays have been doing it for decades.
Yeah.
Same people doing them every day.
That's their job.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's their job.
Yeah. Huh?
But no, I hope everybody, watch out. Yeah, we have had a lot of rain lately. Do watch out for the snails and slugs and things like that. You might be putting down your little trap things. I had gloves on, so the little tiny ones I could squish. If you have chickens, or you might throw them in your bird feeder or something like that. I'm not sure if the birds will eat them for you. If you have to use one of the baits, most of them are all a natural bait, an iron phosphate type thing that'll break down into a fertilizer. Everybody try to stay dry and have a great gardening day.
Thank you, Carol-Ann.
Thank you, Larry.
We'll be back in just a bit. Matt Gibbs is up next to talk about your cars and your trucks. But right now, if you want to call in and try to get those 2 tickets, I'll pick a call at random, and you'll get 2 tickets to the Ocala Civic Theater to see Mamma Mia.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. There are plans to let congressional leaders see some classified information about the FBI's Russian election meddling investigation. House Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says Democrats have to be included, and
the Department of Justice is required to follow the law, not the political bidding of the president, particularly when they're investigating him.
Florida Republican Ron DeSantis wants to know,
how did this investigation into the Trump campaign start, and was it on the up and up from the very beginning?
He was on Fox and Friends this morning. There are primaries today in 4 states: Arkansas, Georgia, Kentucky, and Texas. There, it's a series of runoffs to settle races from the first round of primary voting in March. Democrats in Georgia will nominate the state's first female candidate for governor from a major party. It'll either be Stacey Abrams or Stacey Evans. There are 3 Republicans on the ballot looking to avoid a runoff. Fox News. We report, you decide.
When you're hiring, you don't want to waste time sorting through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want an efficient way to get to a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates.